Hello, everybody. I'm David Bell, and I'm joined in the studio today with Michael from Clearview Window Cleaning Services.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, David, for having me. It's a real honor to be here today.
Michael, great to see you. Lovely to have you here. We're going to do a bit of a deep dive and find out more about Michael, a little bit about your background, the businesses that you're involved with, and more importantly, we're going to talk about Clearview Window Cleaners, which recently, when I say recently, it's been over a year now, but you went for an acquisition and brought that into your core of businesses. So, Michael, for our listeners and viewers out there, tell us a little bit more about you. How old are you? Where you're from? How did you get into starting your very first business?
Good morning, David. Good morning, listeners. So a bit about myself. I am 27 years old. I bought Clearview around a year and a couple of months ago, a year and a half ago. I actually opened up my business in COVID-19. I didn't know what to do in COVID, and I decided to get into the exterior cleaning business. I was actually in property management at the time. I left my job just before COVID hit, and I wanted to know, what can I do? And my dream was, as a property manager myself, is I was always looking for one company as a one-stop shop. I wanted all the exterior of cleaning. That's all I wanted to do was under one company. So I opened it up slowly. I opened it up with only one van, all my savings put into one van. And I had one worker who actually started on day one and then quit day two. And I put in all my investment into one van, and I thought it was over after one day of trading. But thank God, moved on from there. And it's coming up to 6 years now. And then I slowly built that business, and I managed to get up to 2-3 vans on that business. And I was always thinking, what is the growth? What is the next? How do you grow a business? And after speaking to many of advisors and talking to yourself, David, the main thing was everyone's saying, growing a business is amazing. That's what you need to do, make connections. But the best thing to grow a business is to buy a business if you're in that position. And thank God I was in that position. And a year and a half ago, I bought Clearview Window Cleaning, and extremely happy with the buy. It was a very nice, easy transition with the previous director, who was amazing and easy to deal with. And he stayed on for a year. And he's still there if I need him, and he's still very much involved if we need and when we need. And that's how I started. That was a 6 years in about 30 seconds. But
wow, we're going to unpick that a little bit more. So look, we know, the time of COVID, March the 23rd, 2020. I remember the date very well. The UK, amongst many other countries around the world, become locked down. Very tough for small businesses, tough for any business, any organization, very tough personally on us as individuals, locked away in our families and stuff like that. And you decided it was a good time to start a business. I know you didn't fully plan it like that. Just take us back to that time. What was it like? Running a business, was you locked away, or because you was an important factor of getting out there and maintaining?
Yes, I only started. So I actually left my property man job just before the actual lockdown. So I was in lockdown. I was at home with my family, and I was thinking, I had the whole summer. If you remember, it was the most incredible summer holidays. The weather was and I just wanted to be outdoors all the time. Even though I am ginger and I get suntan from normal fluorescent lights, I just wanted to be in the outdoors. And I was thinking, rack my brain. So I only started when the lockdown was a bit easier in the summer, when you were allowed to go out. It was not the lockdown. If I remember correctly, my boys well preferred working when there was COVID, only because there's no traffic on the roads. And we got to jobs half the time that we do right now with the traffic in London. And I decided I wanted to do something. And going for property manager interviews at the time wasn't the best. I was a bit nervous to go out to meetings, and I wanted to start myself something. I wanted that freedom, which everyone thinks as a property business owner you have. But and that's how I started. And I only started that's when I started it all.
It's a really interesting point because a lot of people say, when they start a business, they do it because they want that freedom, that ability to plan their own calendar, work when they want to work. If they want to start early, finish early, work weekends, not work weekends, take time off, take time out with the family. And a lot of people start a business for that reason. There's typically 2 reasons: more time, more flexibility, and then more money. Because you work for somebody else. You think, by only a portion of what they earn. So people start up their own business to have that income stream. And it's quite simple. I then speak to people about a year later and say, well, how's things going? They say, I've never been so busy. I've got less time than ever, and I'm earning less money because I'm putting it all back in for growth and development and to move the business to the next level. So look, let's fast forward. So you started the business, just you, one man and a van, and started with you. Day 2, he left. Obviously, you got that back on track. You carried on investing. You grew the business over the coming years. Fast forward to 2024. So that was last September, October.
September the 13th.
Oh, you remember the date very well. Absolutely.
That's it.
And then you acquired the business and you brought it into the portfolio of businesses that you now look after and manage. Tell us a little bit more about what Clearview does. Now, obviously, if people can go to the website here, clearviewwindowcleaners.co.uk, they can learn more about the business. But for those that are listening to this and joining us now, tell us a little bit more about what Clearview does and the type of work that you are taking on board.
So, as I said before, my main fundamental thing, because I was a property manager, and this is what I always wanted. I didn't want to go to several companies. I just wanted to go to one. So the main thing we have in Clearview Window Cleaners is, yes, we focus on window cleaning, but we also do jet washing and gutter cleaning as well. But back on the window cleaning, we do all types of window cleaning. We do the traditional. To be honest, Clearview was one of the first companies to bring in the reach and wash system in 2000. I think it was 1999, 2000. I was about 2 years old at the time. And when Clearview brought in the reach and wash, he was the first. The old director was the first man to bring into the UK this reach and wash. He took the gamble, which paid off. So we do the reach and wash, and that can go up to 60-foot windows. Anything more complex, we also offer abseiling in-house. We also offer cherry picker MOOP systems, and we also offer, we can get cradle work. We've got boys who are IRATA 3 and also got cradle permissions and licenses to do all that. And as I said, it's a one-stop shop. You come to us with the most complex building, and we will find a way I forgot the word, but we will find a plan to clean your strategy. That's the word I was looking for, to clean your windows. So we primarily focus on window cleaning. That is our bread and butter. But we also now, with a surge in gutter cleaning right now, as the weather's changing, the leaves are falling down, blocking up your gutters, which are causing roof leaks. And we've got this new gutter system. It's called a gutter sucker. It's a commercial vacuum, and we use carbon fiber poles. Again, we can go up to 4 or 5 stories with a GoPro or some sort of Skyvac camera that goes on, and it will survey. We also have the drone surveys after to show you before, show you after, and we clean out all your gutters. So when the rain comes in, and there's no blockage, then that's a happy home, happy building. But when there's blockages and the rain can't go into the gutters, the water will find elsewhere to drain into your property.
Yeah, which then leads to potential damage and more expense and stuff like that.
Correct.
For maintenance. So this is going to probably be starting to be a busy time of year for gutter cleaning, because the leaves are rapidly falling off the trees. They roll down the roofs and fall into the gutters. They start to build up, but that's based on the leaves now. But there's pretty lots of people out there. And it's an assumption here, Michael. I'm no gutter cleaner, window cleaner, but there's leaves there probably from last year that build up. They create like a mulch, and then that really can block things up, and the downpipe stuff like that.
So a lot of people, we have contracts at the moment which are 6 monthly gutter cleaning. That is, again, people can get away with yearly, which is understandable. They don't want to spend the money on that. But a lot of properties, we have a lot of contract, which is 6 monthly. So we start more at the beginning of the season and the end. So the summer you're fine, and for the winter you're fine, because over the winter more leaves come there. And it's exactly what David, you were saying, is that will prevent you cleaning out in October, November from stuff from last year, May.
Yeah, so you can clean gutters all year round, because obviously the debris builds up, and getting it ready. It's a bit like having a chimney sweep. Getting your chimney sweep ready for the winter when you're going to light your fire, or get your gutters cleaned before it starts to rain and snow and the weather, as we know in the UK.
And that's why we're having a surge of calls right now, when the weather's turned to the worst and people are starting to panic, saying, "Oh, water's coming in through fresh water."
Gutters are overflowing. I think we've all seen that walking down the road on commercial buildings or private residence where, it's pouring a rain, the water's flowing over the top because it can't disperse. So let's just quickly go back to window cleaning, because I think this is very interesting. A lot of your work, not all, but is based around London, the London boroughs, the southeast, east of England. That's kind of your main area of work. And you do a lot of high-rise stuff as well. So you mentioned abseiling and MUPS, that's mobile elevating working platforms, for those that are not aware. Cherry pickers is another phrase for it. So that's working feet off the ground. But the reach and wash allows you to stand on the ground with these big carbon poles and clean safely without using a ladder or standing on any platform. But obviously they only go up to a certain height. If you've got a block, let's use the expression canary wharf, because everyone can visualize that block that you can't do with poles from the floor, but only up to a certain height. So what happens then? You're saying you've got men that go on top and abseil down and
yes, the Canary Wharf, if I can remember correctly, I think Canary Wharf, which everyone knows, has, if I'm not mistaken, but I will check on this after the meeting, David, and I'm sure I'll be down there sometime next week. Canary Wharf, it has a cradle system, which is like a sort of crane that houses operatives to go down in some cradle, and we go down and they do it by traditional. But a lot of buildings we do abseiling with. A lot of buildings, huge high-rise buildings, have anchor points, and a lot of anchor points at the top where you can harness yourself off those anchor points if they're all certified. I think they have to be certified 3 to 6 monthly. Sometimes when there's no anchor points, which is why people will call us saying we need to go abseil, but we don't have the certification on the roof, because about a year or two ago, all the criteria changed and the health and safety regs have all changed, and you need to have forms where people are not having the forms from the original builders and they've just been failed all their anchor points. So we have other ways called like davit arms and A-frames and weight stack boxes, which we can bring our own equipment to your roof if health and safety it's allowed, and with the right measurements and stuff, we can actually abseil with our own equipment. We don't need to use any of your equipment. We've actually just now had a very awkward building on the canal, which there's no operatives can stand and use a reach and wash pole because you can't stand on a canal. So we're looking into all options, either to hire a canal boat, the barges, but that was too much of a fee. So we managed to, it's called Up and Over, which is a new method that my team came together, my compliance guy came together with my team, and we worked it out, where we put a weight stack box in the car park and the ropes went over the building, and we managed to do it that way. So we always will find a way to clean your windows, a strategy to do it, however complex it may sound. I know you just say window cleaning is window cleaning, but believe it or not, it is more of a complex than you would imagine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I just thought I'd have a quick look. So Canary Wharf, or 1 Canada Square, which is one of the blocks in the Canary Wharf area, then Docklands. It's 50 floors and 771 feet. So if you're scared of heights, being inside for some looking out the window, which you've cleaned, obviously, and it's nice and clean, looking out the window could be scary for some. Imagine dangling on a rope from the other side. And I suppose that's a question I've got to ask you, Mike. Would you hang from a rope and clean the windows? Is that kind of, or is it the team's job to do that? Do you like heights, or no?
I'm not the biggest fan of heights. So I have been looking into becoming, because you need to have 2,000 hours. You have to train for it to become IRATA 1, IRATA 2, IRATA 3. IRATA 3 is on the highest levels to become. The problem I've got, unfortunately, which I'll be honest, for the last 3 months, I have lost a little bit of weight. But unfortunately, I was over the 100 kg mark. And the problem with abseiling, you go abseiling, a lot of times you may sometimes have to pull yourself back up.
Yeah.
And the issue I haven't been to the gym long enough to start pulling my weight back up. But thank God I have lost quite a bit of weight, and I'm under the 100 kg mark at the moment. Long may it last. And yes, it's something I would do and have done in the past, and I'm starting to do it more often. As a business owner, I always wanted to be able to manage every area of my business. As in, I started myself using Xero, which is an accountancy software. Now, thank God, we've grown. We've got bookkeepers and accountants to do all that. I myself was window cleaning. I know how to traditional. I know how to reach and wash. Not the best. My team are definitely by far better than I am. But always, as a business owner, if something went wrong, I knew I could step in and help and take the fault. With abseiling, I can't because of regs and stuff, which I'm not regulated myself. I'm not a Rata 3, which I'm working on, and hopefully one day I'll get there. I just need to find 2,000 hours to be on the ropes, but we'll get there. But I hope that
answers your
philosophy.
I love the philosophy behind it, that you want to be able to have the ability to do what the team do. Small businesses, medium-sized businesses, typically the founders, the owners, the directors, the board, when they form that company from kind of startup or young setup sides, they tend to be able to do a bit of everything. And I suppose the real magic comes when, like you've just mentioned, yes, you can do zero, that's great to understand that, but now you've got an accountant that can do that for you. And you have the specialists, i.e. the abseilers, the window cleaning team, the gutter cleaning team that can go out there and do the work, because we've got to know what we're good at, where we're best off spending our time. And I know one of the things that you're good at, but one of the things that you do is that you're really about the customer connection relationship, looking after the customers, managing the team and stuff like that. So you're kind of, as much as, it's going to be great to dangle from the building. Once you got under your 100 kgs, you've been to the gym and worked out and got those muscles back so you can climb up and down the rope as well. But I suppose your knowledge and expertise is better spent in running the business.
Correct.
Rather than probably going to clean the windows, because you've got experts that do that already.
Correct. Yeah, running a business isn't as easy as everyone thinks it can be. A lot of personalities in the office, a lot of staff, different personalities, and you have to make it work with everyone. But at the same time, running a business, you still have to make sure all your clients are happy. I spend most of the day talking with clients, speaking with property management companies, going down to sites, doing site visits. That is the most important part of your business, is yes, running your business, but you also have to make sure that all your clients are happy at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of questions to wrap up our conversation here, Michael. What does the future look like? I know you've got big ambitions and big dreams. So without giving too much away, what does the next couple of years look like for Michael, Clearview and the organisation?
So at the moment, what I am going for is building contracts, gaining new contracts, still making sure that my clients and the OG clients, as they say nowadays, are still as happy. And yes, the business is growing. It's not as small as it was, but I've taken on a lot of more teams. I've got an operative manager on board. I've got a salesman on board. I've got new staff, got new vans, new accounts team. And we're making sure, yes, I'm growing and building new clients, new contacts, but my original clients are still getting the care that they deserve and they need and they've had for the last 20 years. And that's what 25 years it is. And that's what my main thing was. And everyone said, when you come into this, don't change anything for the first year. Make sure you just do exactly how it was. And that's exactly what we did. And we're only improving. And we've got the original team who are looking after the original property managers, original staff, original clients. And that is the fundamental, is don't let the people who helped you all these years down. Yes, you want to build, and I do want to build. Everyone's dream is to get new contracts. That is the dream. But you have to make sure your original clients are always happy and are still happy and only getting happier. So that is yes, I would love to build new contracts, and I am trying to do that. So I do it all day. But I spend a lot of time making sure my original and the Clearview original clients are happy with the new transition.
Our existing customers are always super important. It's much, as they say, makes much more cost effective to keep happy clients than to keep going out and finding new ones to replace.
100%.
I love the reasoning behind it. Michael, the last question for you today. You've been running businesses now for about 6 years. In the terms of running business, still quite young, like me. I've been running business for 30 years. I'm still learning. Every day's a school day. But what is your top tip? What is the one thing that you've learned over the last 6 years that you can share with our listeners and viewers today? What one tip would you like to leave everybody with?
The problem is, David, I'm a man who talks way too much. I can't just give you one tip. I need to give you a few tips, but I'll try. My main thing is take day by day. Every day you can ask the people I go to work with sometimes, my operative manager. I will drive into the office and all I say is another day at Clearview. I take a day by day. You may think becoming your own director, your own boss is the happy life. You can say I used to take off work. I used to have my 25 days off, whatever it was. I used to go away and I used to leave my work phone at home. Those days, I don't have a work phone. My main phone is my work phone. And I was once in Florida. I had to get up at 2 a.m. in the morning to make sure my team have gone and then go back to bed. Sometimes I didn't manage to go back to bed. But my main thing is take day by day. No task is too big. You can always manage.
Yeah.
That is my main tip.
Yeah, no, and very valuable. Like you, Michael, I have one phone, one number. That's personal. That's business. When you run your own business or businesses, you find that everything blends together. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It's what I know. It's what I do. It's what I love. And by the sounds of it, that's your passion.
Make sure you work with something you love to do. The minute you stop loving to do what you're doing, then there's a problem.
Yeah, love what you do and do what you love. 100%. For our viewers and listeners out there, if you want to find out more about Clearview Window Cleaners, you can go to the website, clearviewwindowcleaners.co.uk. Reach out to Michael. He's on LinkedIn, or drop him a text message or WhatsApp, or maybe send him a carrier pigeon or some smoke signals, because he'd love to have a conversation with you, learn a little bit more about how Clearview can help you, whether it's cleaning gutters, doing your windows, whether from the ground or dangling over the side of a building. I'm sure Clearview have a solution for you. Michael, it's been a pleasure having you here on the show today, learning more about you, what you do, and look very forward to having future conversations with you. Until then, Michael, have a great day. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Be well.